Ooh, burn 7. Oh. All right, so I don't know if you can tell, but man, I'm starting to get a big pump. Veins are popping out, all right, and guess what? It's hurting. So hey guys, Mark McKillier here with Live Anabolic, and today I have 5 fantastic dumbbell and band exercises, and we're going to be focusing on arms, and this is for all you guys out there over the age of 40. And you need to stick around to the end because I'm going to show you an exercise that I've never done on this channel before, and it's really going to make those arms pop. And guys, who doesn't want big arms, right? Okay, so the first exercise is going to be focused on our biceps, and it's called a ZOTTMAN curl. Starts with a Z, all right? You've probably never heard that before. Well, it's a fantastic exercise, and let me tell you a couple of reasons why I like doing it, and it's going to really apply to you guys who are short on time and can't spend an hour and a half at the gym working out just on your arms. So you've heard me over and over and over talk about hitting our muscle fibers from different angles, and that basically allows us to damage. You know, remember, we are trying to damage our muscle fibers. We're creating millions and millions of little tiny micro tears, all right? So we have to engage all those muscles from different angles, okay? So we can hit more fibers, which means more damage, which means the body overcompensates and the muscles get bigger and bigger over time. So when we're doing curls, a lot of times I'll have you do different exercises just with different grips, all right? So we can have a palm up facing grip when we're doing bicep curls, and it hits your bicep from a certain angle, right? Then we can do a reverse grip where my palms are pointing down and I'm holding these dumbbells, all right? So even though we're still working our bicep, we're hitting it from a different angle. Look, here versus here, okay? And then of course, there's the hammer grip where we keep kind of a neutral hand position and our palms are facing towards each other. And as we're curling with the dumbbells, all right, we have our forearm and our wrist in this position, okay? So it's not here and it's not there, it's in between. So it's great if you have the time to do all 3 of those different bicep exercises, but a lot of you guys don't, all right? So the ZOTTMAN curl that I'm about to show you solves this problem, all right? So you can't use a lot of weight with this, all right, guys? Because it's really important that you focus on the form. That's true with pretty much every exercise, but some exercises are far more important to get that mind-muscle connection going correctly. So, guys, the trick is, as I bring the dumbbells up, I'm gonna rotate my hands so that my hands are facing up at the top, and then I'm gonna hold it and I'm gonna twist and then take them down. And at the bottom here, I'm gonna twist them and come back up, twist, down. So we're twisting at the bottom and we're twisting at the top. At the bottom and at the top. So guys, I'm not using much weight here, but this is really getting a big pump going in my biceps. And it's all because of the time under tension and all the different muscle fibers that are being engaged, all right, with this particular exercise. So I'm gonna put this down real quick and talk to you. So pay attention to the tempo and the speed, okay, that I was doing those curls. Curls are an exercise. I work out at the gym a lot, all right? So there's a bunch of guys at the gym and they're checking each other out. Everybody wants to be the biggest, buffest, baddest dude, right? And then there's girls there and these guys are showing off for the girls. So I see people cheat on curls probably more than any other exercise. And the reason is they're easy to cheat on, all right? Because I can just swing that weight up by using momentum and my back. I mean, your back is a big, strong muscle group. Your biceps are really small relative to your back, okay? So these guys will get these big old giant 50-pound dumbbells and they're throwing them up like this. You know, they're using their legs and their back. And it's better than nothing, right? They are building their biceps, but they're not building their biceps nearly as big and efficiently and as quickly as they could as if they used a lighter weight and really controlled the weight all the way up and then all the way down. That's another thing, guys. So it's one thing to bring the weight up nice and slow, and then if you just let it fall back down, that means you're not controlling the weight on the negative part or the eccentric part of the movement. And there's a lot of studies out there that say controlling the weight on the downward eccentric part is actually more important than the concentric, okay, or the lifting of the weight. And that's not just for biceps, that's for any muscle group, whether it's chest or shoulders or triceps or legs, okay? So guys, these ZOTTMAN curls are really, really good. They're very time efficient, okay? But mind-muscle connection is really important and form is critical. All right, so the second exercise is called an overhead tricep extension. Now, when we're working our triceps, bands are fantastic, okay? I think they're actually more effective than dumbbells in a lot of cases. So, in this particular exercise, we're gonna put the anchor down at the bottom of the door, okay? That's the first thing. And then secondly, this is an exercise that's gonna feel a little awkward at first for you guys if you've never done it before, because there's a lot of balance issues going on. So before I pick up the handles and show you how to do it, I just want to basically describe what's going on here. So I'm going to have these handles, and this is going to be my starting position. So those bands are going to really have a long stretch already in them. Okay, so they're going to be pre-tensioned. All right, so I'm going to be starting like this, and I'm going to have a nice wide base, all right, because these bands are going to be pulling me all over the place, okay? They're trying to pull my hands back down behind me, okay, and then pull me backwards. So that's why this is going to feel weird to you guys. And so if you haven't done this before, I recommend pick a really light resistance band to start with, okay? Because you're just really trying to get the balance and the coordination going first and the form. And then once you kind of figure it all out, okay, your body will adjust, okay? Your brain will figure it out pretty quick. Then take it up a notch and pick a heavier resistance band when you want to do your true working sets where you're going to be pushing yourself really hard. So this is how I like to do it. So I just put the handles on both sides and start off by making sure, okay, before you get them into position, I make sure that I have an equal length band on both sides, okay, and I can tell right now. And then I'm just going to bring it right here, okay. Now it's time to get my stance. All right, nice wide base here, okay. Starting position, and I like to look up just a little bit here, all right? So if you're looking down, it's gonna be kind of weird. It's hard to keep your balance. So I like to look up just slightly, and then I'm just gonna basically push the handles straight up and slightly in front of me, okay? So at the very top of the movement, boom, I wanna try to lock my elbows out, okay? And then when you lock your elbows, you can really flex that tricep muscle. Now guys, if I look down, it feels a little weird, okay? So if I look up, I have a much easier time of keeping my balance and then also focusing on that mind-muscle connection. Now, I'm not using a lot of resistance here, guys. It's just a single band. But remember, I'm trying to go slow up, and I'm trying to control the resistance of that band on the way down. And when you do it nice and slow like that, and when you lock your elbows at the top, you're gonna feel that tricep muscle really flex. And you're gonna start to feel a pump, okay? So the whole backside of your arm is really gonna get big because we're gonna force a lot of blood into that muscle. And then, guys, a lot of us don't focus on triceps nearly as much as we should, because when we flex, we're always thinking about this muscle. What you don't realize is this big thing down here is actually bigger than your bicep, okay? So when you're just kind of walking around or just standing here in a short sleeve shirt, my triceps are a bigger percentage of my overall upper arm than my biceps. So the point being is, don't just focus on your biceps. Your triceps are just as important And guys with big triceps can get away. They can have no bicep at all and still have really huge looking arms. Okay, exercise number 3. We're going to go back to our biceps. Okay, now this is called a close grip dumbbell curl. Now in this case, we're going to be using a single dumbbell, which is really unusual, okay, when I'm doing biceps, all right? It's almost always 2 dumbbells either alternating or simultaneously. So in this case, single dumbbell, but we're going to be using both arms, okay, which means you need to pick a heavier weight, basically. So you can typically go with a weight that's almost twice as heavy as what you would normally be doing, all right, when you're using both hands with 2 different dumbbells, all right? So you heard me earlier talk about hitting muscles from lots of different angles, okay? So that activates all those little tiny muscle fibers, okay? Whereas if we just did the exact same exercise with the same grip over and over and over, we wouldn't engage all of the muscles in a particular group of muscles, okay? So this is an attempt to engage more bicep muscle fibers than we have so far by holding our hands close together, okay? So those ZOTTMAN curls, we had a nice wide grip out here, okay? Now I'm gonna have my hands together and we're gonna be curling, all right, a single dumbbell in this particular, okay, form or fashion, all right? So instead of out here, I got my hands in here, and you're simply gonna hit that bicep from a completely different angle, and that's the goal, guys. So I'm just gonna grab a dumbbell underneath, all right, here, and we're just gonna do a straightforward curl, all right? Now, one thing, guys, at the bottom, it's hard to go all the way down without changing your grip, okay? So I had to change my grip at the bottom. So at the bottom, I'm gonna have my thumbs at the top, on top, and I'm just gonna go to about right here, okay? So I still, so at the bottom, I still have a lot of tension on my biceps. And I come up as high as I can and really focus on contracting that bicep, okay? So, woo, I'm really feeling it. But the cool thing about this exercise is I'm feeling it from a slightly different angle. I'm even feeling it down here in my forearms, okay? Which is not a place that I felt it earlier when I was doing those ZOTTMAN curls. So, really cool little exercise, guys. You need to try it out. Okay, exercise number 4, guys, we're gonna move back to our triceps, all right? Don't forget those triceps. Now, we have to move the anchor to the top of the door here because I'm gonna be doing a press down movement, all right? So there's 2 really great ways to do this exercise. It's the exact same movement, okay? Both of them are the same. It's just a matter of how you grab the handle. So most people are gonna grab that handle with an overhand grip, then they're gonna push down, okay? So you push down with your hand on top of the handle, and that really engages the tricep. But guys, look, so when you push down with an overhand grip, this is what your tricep looks like. Now, this is gonna be different. I'm gonna do an underhand grip, so I just rotate my wrist. Now, see how that tricep muscle looks a little different, okay, as it flexes and contracts? All right, so here is an overhand grip, and then here is an underhand grip. And the point of this, guys, just like everything else, is hitting all those millions and millions of muscle fibers from different angles, waking those things up, forcing blood into as many muscle fibers, tearing as many as we can down. And reverse grip is something that most guys don't do. So I see this at the gym. Everybody's doing this overhand grip. Well, you're stronger, okay, when you're doing an overhand grip, okay? So people like to do it because they can lift more weight, which it looks more impressive, right? But they're neglecting some of the muscle fibers in those triceps if they don't do it with an underhand grip. So let me show you how to do this real quick. All right, so I'm gonna grab the handles, okay? So one key thing I just wanna show you here, okay, before I actually started doing it, is I pull down on the handle, okay? See how my fingers wanna come off the handle here? All right, so this is an overhand grip. when I push down, I have the whole back or my whole palm of my hand pushing on the handle. It's a real strong, powerful grip. Now when I'm pulling down like this, it's trying to pull that handle out of my fingers, all right? So this is the trick, guys. As you push down and it gets harder and harder to grip, you rotate your hand so that your thumb is on top of that handle. So you have your entire thumb pushing down. Now, some of you guys won't need to do that. It depends on how much weight or how much resistance you're using, but just use that as a trick mentally. So when I'm at the gym and I'm lifting really, really heavy weight with a reverse grip, I have to rotate my wrist so that at the bottom, okay, when my fingers are getting really tired, my thumb goes on top of that handle, okay? So here we go. Get down on my knees here, okay? So that there's a little tension already, okay? So at the very beginning of the movement, I already have some resistance. And then I'm really trying to control these handles, okay, on the way up. I'm not letting that band yank my hand up real fast. So nice, slow, controlled, eccentric movement. And at the bottom, boom, try to lock those elbows out. And you'll really, bam, at the bottom. You're gonna feel a great burn in those triceps, guys. And this is another exercise, if you haven't done a reverse grip before, it's gonna feel a little weird, okay? Especially with the way your fingers and the handle's trying to rip out of your hand. So pick a real, real light, okay, band. Very, very light resistance. Just to get the feel, okay, for the form. Then you can start upping the resistance and you'll be able to feel the effect of having that handle try to rip out of your hands and then rotating your wrist on top of it. That'll give you a little extra strength, okay, when you're doing a heavier weight. So I told you guys to stick around for that last exercise, right? Because it's something that you may or probably have never seen before. And this is a killer, guys. All right, this is where the no pain, no gain, all right, concept comes into play. And so I don't advise that you do these all the time, okay, because it's such a high volume exercise. But I'm gonna show you something that's been around for a long time, but you don't see many people do it because it hurts, all right? It's called 21s. So before I pick up the dumbbells and do a set, I just want to kind of go through the form, all right? So we're going to be using 2 dumbbells, and you have to pick a lightweight, guys. Don't get very heavy here, all right? So, and don't be embarrassed that you're not lifting much weight. So what we're going to do is we're going to do partial range of movement here, which is very seldom do I do that, all right? But this is an exception to the rule. So we're going to have 2 dumbbells. We're gonna start up here, okay? So this is the starting position at the very top, and I'm only gonna go halfway down, and I'm gonna do this for 7 reps, all right? So 7 half reps, then we're gonna go all the way to the bottom, and then I'm just gonna come part of the way up, all right? Partial range motion, I'm gonna do 7 at the bottom, okay, of the movement, all right? And then after that, your arms are gonna just be burning and killing you, and then guess what? 7 more full range motion, all right? Just straightforward dumbbell curls. So 7 upper, 7 lower, and 7 full range equals 21, all right? So you can cuss me later after you've done this, but then a couple days later when your arms stop hurting and they start growing and getting big and impressive, then you can thank me. All right, so here we go. Top, we're gonna just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, full range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ooh, burn 7. Oh. All right, so I don't know if you can tell, but man, I'm starting to get a big pump. Veins are popping out, all right, and guess what? It's hurting. So That pain is because you're building up a lot of lactic acid in your muscles. So anytime you push yourself real hard, and it's not just weightlifting, if you're sprinting, okay, if you're running really, really hard, the same thing happens. Your muscles produce lactic acid, all right? And normally, like if you're jogging, if you're doing aerobic activity, your body can flush that stuff out as fast as the muscles are making it, so it can keep up. But when we do certain exercises, when we push ourselves really hard, then your body simply can't flush the lactic acid out as fast as the muscles are producing it, builds up your muscle, and that's where the pain comes from. But there is a benefit to the pain, right? Remember the gain? That pain, that lactic acid sends signals up to your brain, and it tells your body it needs to ramp up production of testosterone and growth hormone and all those other good things that actually help make your muscles grow. All right, all you guys over 40 out there, there's a lot of us, right? I hope you like this video. This is a fantastic set of exercises that you can use to really grow your arms, guys. All of them are fantastic. Don't neglect your triceps, right? And then the other thing is, this is not a workout per se. These are just 5 great exercises for you all to do at home. It's up to you to figure out what's the correct weight, how many reps, how many sets, that kind of stuff. All right, I've got some great workouts for arms, but this one was really just talking about the exercises themselves and specifically the correct form and what things to avoid, okay? And guys, you can't get big giant arms overnight, which means you got to stick with it and never give up on yourself.